You coming like that? Not Chuckie.
Look at you.
Come on, man.
This ain't good job interview.
Nah, man, we're just keeping it. Do you know what I'm saying? We gotta mix it up.
Oh God, you alright?
Come on, the man them are too predictable with dressing. They're not making efforts no more.
This is different still.
Make an effort for the niggas that don't make an effort, man. Niggas out here talking about fashion, dressing like mannequins, man. Mix it up, man.
I'm
Let me
telling
see
you.
the tracksuit one day. Mix it up, man.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you're
yeah.
interested, man.
Wait, what? Is nothing going on today? You're just mixing it up, just to mix it
Bro,
up.
what do you mean nothing's going on today? I'm here talking to you on Hcpod.
Strongly.
Biggest podcast in the fucking world. What do you mean
Yes.
nothing's going on today?
Right
Come
then.
on, talk to me properly. So I thought I'd dress differently for the people them at home. Let them know Nines has come out today.
Yeah.
Let them know you've come back in. We've been around each other for a little
I
while.
know, of course, you had a
You know
little,
what
you had a
I'm
week off and thing.
Yeah, man. So
But we're here, man. We're here. We're
in,
back
man.
at it. EA's here, passed his driving test.
Did you?
Yeah,
Oh, that's crazy.
yeah, did it on a
Come on,
silent
brother.
one. Yeah, man.
So
Look
you're
at him.
driving now?
Not yet. No, not yet.
So you
Dude, that's when you get to the point where you realize that you'll get there. You'll get to a point where driving becomes an expense. You know, listen, passing a test is great, but I'm letting you know it opens you up into a world of different expenses. Trust me when I tell you that. Yeah, and like if you can be a little bit reckless or a little bit careless, this driving thing is gonna cost you a lot of money. So welcome to it. Welcome.
And do you know
to
what?
it.
Yeah, I'm a very accommodating person. I like to be accommodating. So if you come to my house, I always want to be able to make sure I get you food or little vibe or so. I can't be accommodating with a car. So when I see all of these people out here
What
saying,
do you mean?
What do you mean? People are asking for petrol money in car.
Oh, yeah.
People are asking for big man. If you can't maintain the journey of this vehicle, I mean, I understand it's treacherous times at times, but I'm not about to tell someone come to my house and bring your own drink. It's not a rave.
That's
It's not
never
a
really.
rave.
That's
So
never
now-
really been my thing.
They come to my car and give me petrol, but what is this Uber service as well? Like, I don't know what's going on. If we can't accommodate the situation, obviously I know at times, but you get me, man. I want to drive. Yeah, I got the Range Rover. You serious, big whip? Yeah, but you have to give me £30. So why have you got? If you got a little Clio, we're all in here. Come, ain't no petrol. I might even buy McDonald's for the man them now. So that's the reasons why you don't see me driving, boy. So.
Yeah, that is funny. Still, you know, I've never really been, but there are certain times though where you're not gonna tell somebody to do that, but out of courtesy, you should offer.
Now,
So let's say, for example, but it's big drives though. So it's like, let's say we're going to Newcastle.
That's different.
That's so different.
That's different.
But I'm still not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna say to you, man, them chip in. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna say, jump in the whip, innit? It's now up to you to say, yeah, Chuck, what you going to the petrol station? Is that?
But for me personally,
That's my thing.
I shouldn't be hanging around with people that wouldn't chip in the first place.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if you
yeah.
don't chip in, that's the last time you're chipping it with me.
Right.
You might chip off.
Yes.
I'm not in it.
I hear it.
I can't be around people like that. That's the new thing. That's the new thing as well, Chuckie. I had to tell some girl last week. That's the new thing as well.
What?
She spoke to me a particular way, and I got mad love for her. She's cool, but she spoke to me a particular way, and I was confused. So where I was confused when I came to speak to her now, because she's at the door, and she spoke to me like I knew she was at the door. I was just confused. I've come to the door. She's like, I was knocking the window. Okay, so I've let her in. She goes, didn't you hear? And the whole way she's speaking to me.
She's carrying it on now because she's feeling the way.
I'm confused. She's like, oh, what's the problem? And in my mind, I'm thinking, I got you an Uber to come to my house. If I knew you was at the door, why would I make you wait outside? In my mind, it's nonsensical. And you haven't actually asked me a question. You jump to conclusions. So I had to say to her, darling, do you think I need this in my life? Because what I said, do you think I need this in my life? What do you mean? You can express your point. No problem. You can feel the way you feel. No problem. But then what happens after that? Did you have it in your mind that you're going to feel this way, express yourself the way you want, and get what you want? I said to her, it's very simple, darling. I don't like disrespect. I don't like feeling uncomfortable. So if I don't do nothing to make you feel uncomfortable intentionally, you're not allowed to do the same to me. So if this happens again, this won't ever happen again. Does that make sense?
Right then.
It's not even a disrespecting. It's just what is going on? The world believes that I have to accommodate your disrespect in my life. You think mommy laid down, spread up her legs after 9 months for me to pop out to take your disrespect today? You must be mad.
Did you hear the bar? The man said, if this happens again, this is not happening again.
What are we doing? So yeah, man, that's the new thing. If this happens again, this is not happening again. That's the new thing. It has to be the new thing.
That
Because
is
people are
definitely
just,
my thing.
I'm tired of people telling me all of their issues and that's the reasons why I should have this in my life. No, not today.
Yeah, that was really tickled.
Yeah, man. What did my uncle say to me one time? Oh, you want to do that and stay here? Do me a favor. Take this letter. Go across the road. Turn right. Post it and don't come back.
Right.
So not only have you got a duty, but don't even come back after.
Yeah, don't come back.
Just,
Yeah.
Go back
Leave.
to business. Just leave.
Yeah,
Last
just
thing for
leave.
me.
Yeah.
So man, Chuckie. That's the new thing though.
That
That's
is
the new thing.
hilarious. I like that. That's tickled me, I'm not gonna lie. How you been though, otherwise? All right.
Yeah,
hey, this
man.
fit looks cold on you. Big and serious. I
Thank
know we've
you,
done that
man.
already, but it actually genuinely looks really cold on you.
Nah,
still.
man, I do dress nice. I went over to Nines' cinema experience at Odeon.
How was that?
Tottenham Court Road.
I ain't even seen the thing dropped in. I ain't seen that.
Yeah, shout
So-
out Billy. Shout out Billy in making the progress he's making.
I'm listening, by the way.
streaming,
I'm just paying for
acting.
parking.
Come on, you have to pay for parking sometimes. Where were we? Nines. Yes, we were at Nines, and everyone was there. Do you know what I like about Nines' situations?
Go on.
He always tries to make them as big as possible. He
Yeah.
always tries to involve as much as the culture in it as possible. So I'm watching it, Mirror May's in there. I'm
up,
watching
Mirror.
it, Billy's in there. I'm watching it, Backroad G, Alhan. You're just seeing familiar faces that you know, and obviously other people that I wouldn't know. To say I'm now UP. What is that? Uncle Poe. So sometimes you have to know.
Yeah.
I won't know what's going on.
Right
down
then.
on the low.
Shout out
Come
America
on.
Foster.
America Foster was really in there doing her thing. So
bits.
your cousin, come on.
Strong
So now
man.
it's nice to just see different representations of the scene in one film. It kind of takes me back to the early, I would say, mid-90s towards millennials, where the US was producing a lot of films in like high volume. You would see all types of films, smaller films and comedy skits maybe on MTV for like 20 minutes or 25 minutes, and it would incorporate loads of characters from the scene. You would see musicians in there, you would see stand-up comedians in there. Do you know where I'm coming from? You might even see a chat show host in there, or it was nice. And now we're having that interpretation happening today. I think it's good, man.
Yeah. Nines has been sick at doing that.
Incredible.
He's I feel like the majority of his campaigns and that have just been super top tier. And I always the thing is, yeah, I know that it sounds like a mad thing to say, but it's like when I look at Nines, I look at who he is, what he represents, what he comes from, and the type of rapper he is. It always still surprises me that it's still so, the product in how he markets it is still so good.
Do you know what? One thing he does, which, and I don't think people, he does it on such a larger scale, and I've always tried to do the same thing as a musician. He seems to have long-term relationships with people, which build into something amazing over the course of time, which even improves his product. So some of the people that he's working with, and it's in real life, you go to his house, the same people that he's socializing with,
Yeah.
the same people that he's probably smoking a little whatever with, going on, like there seems to be some type of unison where everyone's doing the same thing in their own type of way within this one under this one umbrella of Nines. So when it's time to do a film, it's almost an extension of what we do in real life anyway, just now in front of the world. And that's why I think the product is even better, because it's almost like the practice is before we even pick up the camera. So even something as simple as the relationship between Billy and Nines and all of those two types of things are worked on before the camera's even on.
Yeah.
And the collaborations he does with different, I think it was Strain Station or something like that. Like those are people he knows in real life. That's why it feels so organic and the product feels so authentic at the end. Do you know where I'm coming from? So yeah, shout him out, man.
How long is the film? Is it
33 minutes?
33 minutes?
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it now. No, I'm not gonna watch it now. Time is of the essence today. But I'll watch it though. I've listened to the project, but I haven't watched. I just, what was I doing yesterday? I was doing something yesterday. Oh nah. Mum's here, my pups and my brother came to check me. By the time they left, it was late. And then I got stuck into Monster on Netflix. I'm so in that at the moment, bro.
I just couldn't watch it, man. It's just not for me right now, man.
I know, but you know, I love a thing like that. That's just my thing.
It's the Vince thing.
Huh?
Is it the two brothers, yeah?
The two brothers, yeah, the people that killed their parents and whatnot.
I just didn't even understand the cover art for it. Like, it just doesn't seem to make sense.
Do you know what the
to me.
maddest thing is? I don't even know what the cover art looks like.
The cover art to me is not a reflection of what I believe I'm going to see when I watch this film. Not to say it has to be, but that's just where I come from. So the whole thing just, I was like, do you know what? I'll come back to it later, man. I can't be asked for this stuff. Two brothers that go around killing their brother, killing their mum, so their mum and dad. They kill their mum and dad.
Yeah, it's based on a true story.
No, I hear you, but like the cover art has them both their top back off, and they just look like it's meant to be an album cover for some song they're gonna be singing to Gallo. So I don't know. It just wasn't for me. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, that. Oh, yeah. So Do you know what? It's mad, yeah. I didn't even see this.
That's
But
just
looking at it now and seeing how this whole thing played out, that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes sense.
So,
But you know, I don't even want to get into it because obviously, if we're going to talk about it, we might as well just do a proper breakdown. We're not even going to do that. We haven't seen it. I'm assuming you ain't seen it either. Yeah, there's no point, and it's not. I don't even think it's that deep to even sit and have a super breakdown about it. Anyway,
I heard it's
there's
cold.
There's nothing like. Anyway, I don't even want to do that. We're talking about
how many
nines.
episodes deep are you? So I can tomorrow.
Eight.
Catch up.
I'm eight. So,
right,
there's nine.
There's nine. Yeah. Shout out nines as well.
Strongly.
If you're gonna, you got to catch up with what I'm watching.
What are you watching? Oh, look, Something of the Dead.
No.
What's it called?
Allow me to land. Stop jumping to conclusions. You come like leaving a comment. Chill out, my dog. What I'm to you? I'm to Chuckie, fam. Vince McMahon.
Yeah. Oh, wasn't we not talking? Did I not talk about it with you?
We spoke about it briefly, but
I know I spoke about it here.
But it hadn't come out yet.
Not, bro. When I mentioned him on the pod, I didn't even know there was a doc that they were doing.
My God.
I was just on YouTube. Who was that? I'm sure you was here, or either it was just me and you. I can't remember yet. But I literally was on, my YouTube was just on, and it was just playing stuff in it. Then all of a sudden, it just started playing this documentary about Vince McMahon time ago. Like, just a thing that they done time ago. I said, this Don has been keeping up with a big fuckery.
And do you know what's so interesting about this doc? The footage that is
We
filmed,
will get back to nines, but yeah.
Yeah, of course. The footage that is filmed with Vince McMahon is before the allegations.
Oh, really?
So
what, do they keep going back to like points of talking to him and that?
Oh, yeah. And this is a hotel.
Crazy.
It's got flaws.
I can't wait to watch. How many episodes is that?
I'm 4 episodes deep. How many? There's 6. Yeah,
6 episodes.
You see, do you know what? Bruv, and can I just say one thing? We have to go back to nines after this. You see, what episode is it? Screwjob. I remember watching that match. Brett the Hitman Hart versus Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
I remember that match, but I was too young to understand.
To deep it.
And because my mum was like, it's fake.
Yeah.
As far as I was concerned, big man, that wasn't fake.
That was real.
And I'm so happy I found that it wasn't fake.
Yeah.
Because my mum was wrong. And I have to tell her she was wrong. Tooth Fairy was fake. Father was fake.
Does it go into some of the other storylines and that he anyway. I'm gonna watch
Chuckie,
it.
you just watched that.
I can't wait to watch it.
Brother.
I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna finish Monster tonight, and then I'm gonna get stuck into that. How long is each episode?
Like an hour.
Oh yes, this is me.
Digestible, innit?
This is me.
Digestible, man.
I was so excited when I saw that this was a thing because I was like, yeah. When I watched that documentary, I thought this is gonna be something because this Don was keeping up. The company. WWF going into WWE was so big, had such a impact on a demographic of kids, all over the world. For this guy to be running this and doing all of this fuckery, has to.
It's not just a kid. Watch it.
Okay.
Just watch it, because I thought how you thought. Even the WCW thing, I didn't realize how mad it was until I was like, oh my God, that was... But I'm a kid at the time.
Yeah.
Chuckie.
They rubbed out WCW in a mad way, innit?
No, WCW was rubbing them out. Like,
really?
In real life, but the way Vince McMahon...
Came in and...
Just watch... Honestly,
cool. Stop.
I watched it with a gal, and she was like, how are we watching this? An hour later. Can we watch the next one? Oh... You feel like watching the next one?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Nah, we watched this
on to the next episode. Yeah,
bro. I can't lie. So I'm gonna go to. I have to watch Monsters by next week and make sure I listen to Nine's album properly as well. But Chuckie, please, take in this for me.
I will do 100%. So I listened to like when Nine said that he was quitting. At first, when it was like the quit while you're ahead thing, I kind of thought that was a little play of words. Not a play of words, but it was more like not necessarily the quitting of rapping, but it's the quitting of the. You get what I'm saying? I'm quitting while you're ahead. You know, there's always this thing where when you're doing certain things on the road or whatnot, and you get to a point when you get hit a good point. Sometimes you might say, I'm going to retire out of the game. And when you retire out of the game, the next move is the thing that puts you in jail. Do you know what I mean? So it's like quitting while you're ahead. You know what? I ain't doing no more. I'm out of it and whatnot. Until I actually heard him talking about, I am not going on the microphone again. I'm done. This is it. This is the last thing or whatnot. So do I believe that he's never going to touch the microphone again and that there's not going to be another Nines project. No, I think there is going to be one down the line. But I do believe that that's how he actually feels right now. I don't believe that this is a campaign of, like quitting while you're ahead, I'm going to quit rapping, knowing that he's going to come back 2-3 years later and start doing that. I genuinely think that right now he's probably at that stage in his life where he doesn't want to do, and he's kind of made a few references on just a couple where it's like, you know what, daughter's getting older, you know what I mean? I want to chill with my Nubian queen. I'm not really on this thing anymore. This is just where I'm at. Fuck this, blah, blah, whatever. You can start sensing that, innit? Later on down the line, I think that we're going to start hearing something from him. But you know what? You will hear it yourself and you will make your own assumption on it yourself. For me, I thought it started a little slow for me. It did. However, I did like the little moments where I'm hearing scraps in there, Rimsey, whatnot. Like I felt like they came in at a different time, but almost the second part of that project was hitting for me. Like, yeah. I was really, really enjoying that. I would probably say my only little critique on it, just my only little critique was that because I want to really believe that he's never coming back again. Remember when Jay-Z did the Black album, yeah? At that time, it was like, he's not, this is it. He's done, yeah? Later on, we obviously know that he wasn't done, but we believe the fact that this person is not coming back. I wanted a longer moment of him really getting things off his chest as somebody who's experienced so much, for somebody who is not coming back. And this project made me go back and listen to What More Can I Say by Jay-Z. Because I felt like, even though it wasn't the last song on the project, I can't remember exactly where it was. It was like somewhere in the middle or near the beginning or whatnot. It wasn't the first or the last. It was like, listening to that, you got even if you didn't necessarily follow Jay's career the whole way through, you got an idea of the fact that like this Don had got to a place where, one, he felt like people were, they were not taking him for granted, but you know, it's like they're getting too used to him. You know, Jay-Z used to drop every summer. That was the thing, used to talk about that, like him dropping every summer, having a hit every summer or whatnot. The whole Nas thing had happened however many years before. He was going through some shit or whatnot. So now they're looking at him from a place of, okay, we're too used to Jay right now. And he's saying, okay, that the last bar that he uses was, he goes, I should be number one on everyone's list. Let's see what happens when I no longer exist. There's a clear reason for why you could say he's not doing this anymore. With Nines and where he comes from and what he's about and what he represents and all the projects that he's done, I just personally wanted a moment where it was clear I'm not coming back and this is exactly how I feel. And then outside of that, we can get the Tony Soprano, we can get all of the other stuff and whatnot in and amongst of it, because that is, you can't have a project of Nines without having those moments. You get what I'm 100%. Saying? So that was it for me. But on the positive, because I have to do this.
Can I just say to you though, to echo that makes so, not to say that you don't make sense, but I fully feel that, you know. Yeah. I haven't heard it properly, but I would want that as well.
You just want, for somebody like that, of a rapper like that, I have to hold him to that standard. If you're saying you're not doing this anymore.
Why? What's going on?
I need to feel like I know why then at some point.
But then is it what you said at the start? Because it's funny that you say that, because at the start, do I feel like Nines is not coming back? No. And then he doesn't make it clear why he's not coming back. And when you watch the film, he's walking away from selling weed.
Right.
When you listen to the album, he's walking away from the mic.
Right.
It's almost that sort of, have you watched the Vince thing, right? No. One of the best lines from Vince is, just because of I've said it, that's not how I feel.
Right.
Sometimes how I feel is to me, and what I say is business.
Okay.
And
that's what
I found
Vince
that very interesting. I found that a very interesting line, because I think I resonate with that to an extent. And it made me really take a look at the compromise between when you do cultural things, but in a commercial space. Yeah. That element of illusion is purely because you can't say what you really want to say, because there's too much people in the room. So I'll give you just enough to keep you hanging on here. So the fact that you can listen to the project and say to me, Paul, do I think he's not going to stop? Do I think he's going to stop? No. and then say in the same breath he's not made it clear that he's stopping, it's like maybe he's done his job. Does that make sense in a weird sort of way?
Yeah,
that element of confusion for you is to make you confused.
Yeah.
Because again, like I said, you watch the 33-minute film, he's talking about walking away from drugs. In the interviews, he's saying he's walking away from music. But in the album, he's not even made it clear.
Yeah,
that must be intentional.
There's moments where he's saying something, like right, the intro and the outro. There's things he's like kind of saying in there, yeah, but they're very short. Also, can I just say as well, it's like, even in the intro, as we're doing it, yeah. So there's like the first part, you've heard it, right, where it's the capital extra intro or whatever, yeah. Yeah. But it's like, you know what? This is the last one. Apparently, this is the last thing. I don't want to hear the people that do breakfast on Capital. I don't want to hear that intro. I want to hear something that is going to make me feel as though this is the last thing. Do you get what I'm saying?
I know. Like
the
Black album felt like the
it's done.
It's done. When I heard Allure, I don't know why. When I heard Allure and just the way it got to that, what more can I say? There were moments that made you go, this is the end. And are you basically saying you didn't get that feel? That sort of Black album feel from this?
Come on, are you telling me that
It's 1 minute and 10 seconds.
Oh, fuck off, Chuckie, man. Chuckie, go away, bro.
It's 1 minute and 10 seconds. Bro, irrespective of that, yeah, Nines has been outside for such a long time. He represents something so strong. He is, for me, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, the game occasionally needs Nines to be outside.
100%, bro.
Needs Nines.
The game needs Nines, bro.
He don't need the game. He don't need it.
Not
but the game needs him, though. So what? For me, as a fan, I'm saying, when you're telling me that this is it from a fan's perspective, I need more than just that. It wasn't enough for me. If it was
no proper defiant.
He says stuff. I'm not gonna sit here and say he's not like talking about, you know what I mean? Like he kind of talks about as I said, he talks about his daughter. His daughter's getting older. He doesn't want to, be taken. I can't remember how he puts the bar and whatnot. He kind of makes a reference to the fact that he wants to chill with his Nubian queen. He mentions that. He also talks about the fact that a couple of men snaked him and he took it out on everyone. Like there's a bunch of things that he's kind of saying in there, but it's not for his ability and for what I want. We're selfish, innit? I just wanted more than that. I wanted more than that. But you listen to it, come back and you tell me what you think. Yeah, I have to.
Because do you know one thing I'll say as well? I'm just thinking about how he's made the message, and I think there must be a level of intention to that. There has to be. That confusing message, also a level of intention behind it could be the fact that he don't know. He says one thing.
I think he like, when he's saying he's done, I really believe that he believes that.
No, but then don't you think in the same breath that because of that metric that exists within music from, I remember when Jay-Z said it and he came back, like, was it 4 years later, 3 years later? Because that exists within this world, and I think other people have said they've done and they've come back. Do you think that he knows that he can say it and we might take it with a pinch of salt just because beforehand it's always been taken like that?
I don't know, man. I just don't know if it's as deep as that. I just think that maybe it is just like who Nines was 15 years ago is very different to who Nines is today. Yeah. And he may just be at a point where it's like he doesn't want to be saying some of the shit that he's saying. And remember, even in the last project, yeah, what was it on the last song? Could you try and pull it up? Where he kind of talks, he says, I'm tapped out. He mentions that. He does say that, yeah. And he like, but in that project, in that song itself, do you know what? Even that is a good way of outroing the whole thing.
Tapped out.
I tapped out. I'm absolutely done. Because better times is just saying like, let me play it quickly.
No, but no, because tapping out is quitting at the end of the day. It's quitting.
Oh.
But then tapping out.
Which one?
Tapped out. You know what I'm talking about. Try and find it in the meantime, between time, please, bro. But look, you might come away from it and hear something very different in it. I just feel like I need to listen to it again to hear whether, when I listen to, and I'm have to hold him to this standard, yeah. But when I listened to the Black album, I don't feel like I needed to listen to it again to really get an understanding of why this Don was leaving and like how he was actually feeling.
He just said my ego's been killed. Gone.
I was right.
About what?
No, but you know, I tell you what. After to correct this part, it wasn't. I think we wasn't debating that. I think it was. We were saying the last project, and that's not the last project.
You can't be right when you're wrong.
Is this the tune though? Oh yeah, it is this.
I'm tapped out. I don't know who got stabbed. I don't know who got shot. I don't know who got grabbed. Fam, I'm tapped out. I don't know if I'm cool being faced. I'm doing time in jail. Nowadays, I be in the type of party where you ain't gotta watch your back.
And I know as well, he's definitely not trying to go back to jail, bro. How many times has he been in jail? Bro, he's been in jail so much times, bro. How can he be so rich and be so respected and it should not even happen? Somebody like him is not supposed to be in jail. You could just tell right now he wants to be a father. Right now he's trying to be a better man, whatever that looks like, and he's just trying to be out of the game. And I need this to be clear. I'm not saying he doesn't make reference to it. He doesn't make reference to it. The point that I'm making is that just this one time, I feel like I needed more. I needed more of it. Like when I went back and listened to What More Can I Say, when you hear the differences in them, it's crazy. And I don't think that there should be, because I think he's got the ability and he's got enough going on to be able to do that, but in his own way. So you know what I mean? So yeah, but maybe that's an unfair thing for me to say. The only thing that I will say, the other thing that I will say on the flip side is that the rap game right now is in such a weird and interesting space. It's not even just about rap, it's about music in general, where, you know, on one hand, a lot of things is just not hitting, a lot of things are not working. I was speaking to somebody on the phone the other day and he was like, oh, it feels like within this industry, the people who is running whatever they're running, it's almost like they switched off a black button. That's what he said. And he went on to explain why, but that's a private conversation. I don't really want to bring that up here. But I just think for him to come outside, do this, sell out the O2 Arena is such a sick thing for the game right now and for it to end too, because as I said, a lot of things don't seem to be working at the moment. There's not a lot of heat on stuff. Personally, I'm a person who always avoids the noise anyway. What I like isn't dictated by what is in the charts. It isn't. I always seem to find things that are beneath the surface that I can really fuck with. But even at the moment, I'm still finding that really difficult. And so, as I said, for him to be able to come outside, yeah, do all of this and sell the O2 Arena, where people are finding it really, really difficult to sell tickets right now in a lot lesser type venues, I think is absolutely incredible and sick for the game. Will it rejuvenate it in some sense? Time will tell. Do you know what I mean? But either way, it's sick for him, sick for his fans, and sick for us to watch. You know what I mean?
Shout out Colin Batstow as well.
Big up Colin. I need to try and find a way to get in there. You know what? I didn't even realise that the thing was going to... I knew it was going to do all right.
We're over there.
But I didn't realise that it was going to do that. I would have just... You get what I'm saying?
We're over there, man.
It sold out in minutes, big man.
Come on, it's nines.
At the O2 Arena.
But this is nines. When I was doing Copa 90 in 2016, the West Ham youth team players were playing him. This is 2016. That's a big 8 years ago. I used to hear about the West Team youth time. The youth team at West Ham, 2016, 2017, playing nines in the changing room.
That's crazy.
That generation of young people then go on to be first team players somewhere.
Facts.
They grow with, and Nines is obviously a mature artist, so it's not something that you don't end up listening to. You always end up listening to that type of artist anyway. So if you start early, it means you never leave.
Hey, I'm telling you, like, this is the prime example of what it looks like when you build upon your core and your thing is not based upon the hype of a time. You know, I used to say that a lot in it. Like, you got certain artists that have a fan base of people that grow with them, and then you've got certain artists that they have people that are just fans of the time. You just remember it when you were 18. You just remember that time.
Come on.
But you don't really remember the artist. You just remember the time. You just remember the music that was happening in and amongst that. then you get certain artists like Nines who are able to just be outside whenever he wants to, and people are gonna fuck with that. So
it's just like it depends, innit? Like it depends wherever you nurture your talent. You can nurture it in a building, or you can nurture it on the streets. And I think if you nurture it outside of the building, it's less contrived. And if it's nurtured within a building, it has to be something that can work to keep the lights on. So it's a little bit more compromised than it is if it's outside. If it's outside, it's wild. You can do whatever you want. But if it's in the building, you've got to remember, we got to keep these lights on. This is a business. So and that's something to remember as an artist as well. And these artists coming up, I think our scene, which is meant to be outside, is too much inside a building right now. So I think the balance is a little bit off. So it needs to kind of, I like the distribution deal type method, but I don't like the fact that you're having distro deals and just focusing on money and not focusing on how you nurture the talent. The moment you focus on how you nurture the talent, the positioning and the whereabouts of the talent is more important than where you're positioning the money. They're making everything about money. And it's like, we don't come from money. We're broke. So when we're making things, we're thinking about maybe we might make money one day, but we wouldn't know the metrics in order to make money or the music that makes money because we don't have the information, which means we're just being ourselves. And that took you to a place of money. Now, if that's taking you to the place of money, if that's all the knowledge that's taking you on this journey, why do you then conflict that to go further? That doesn't make sense. That was the recipe that took you where you were. You then put it between four walls, and the four walls said, well, let's continue to do that, but they compromised it to keep their lights on. I'm not saying you don't have to do that. Let's do that, but not to the detriment of your own product. Maybe you go away, take that journey some more, and go back to that building in 2 years' time. There's no rush to go there. If you're going to end up there anyway, do it at the right time. And I think that's all that's happened is during COVID, everyone was inside, so therefore everything was made between four walls, which means their lifespan was 2024 anyway. So now all of the products that were birthed or made very polarized during COVID have now come to the end of their journey. And you now need to leave the four walls and go back outside and figure out how to connect with the people again. And some people take a different route. Like Nines knows how to connect with the people.
100%.
So when he makes his films or when he makes his music, you take a look at it, it's covered in a representation of culture, which means that he's always outside. He can stay inside, but he always knows how to be outside because it's very organically him. And a lot of products, they're never outside. All they do is associate with other products that are also in the four walls. And now you're just making products for the four walls. And that works depending on the audience that you're speaking to. And I think the audience that we're from, there needs to be more of a compromise with what's happening outside. You need to know the one guy that is about 6 years away from being signed in the building. You need to know him now because he's in the streets. He's talking to a demographic that you can't speak to but are very, very important. If everything you do, all of your business about culture is done within four walls, it is not culture. It's coal. So yeah, I just think
He done this independently as well. That's like Xeno Records Limited.
Always does, bro. They got an artist as well.
Tony Soprano's Code on there. Line of Fire Part 9.
Serious.
Hard.
Cocoa butter.
Do you know what? I thought that song was cool, but I loved hearing. What is weird about it, yeah, is that like I thought it was cool, but at the same time I still loved hearing Jay Styles and Rimsey on it though. Do you know what I mean? It's the same with even Champagne Problems. I thought the tune was all right, but then I'm hearing scraps on it and I'm like, I'm loving hearing scraps on it, but the tune's okay. It's like when I'm listening to the project later on, yeah, I'm like, I kind of want to hear scraps later on now.
Do you know what's so
Or
mad,
I want to
though?
hear scraps a couple more times. Or I want to hear Jay Styles a couple more times.
Don't you think you need to give more time? Do you think
100%. I need this to be clear.
Yeah.
I listened to this on the way.
All
I've
right,
only
sweet.
listened to this once.
Yeah,
I might come in here tomorrow and I might love it more or I might hate it more.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? I need that to be super clear.
To make it
Because
clear.
we're recording on Friday. The project came out on Friday. I don't even like discussing albums like that quickly.
What did I say to you before? I don't even want to discuss it because like I could talk about Future's project now. I had a week of it.
Yeah,
I know what I love.
It's different.
What I love straight away, I don't love as much now. Like, do you know where I'm coming from? So I think Nines deserves more grace than Future.
100,000,000%. And let me tell you this as well, yeah? The only reason why I even listened to this was only because I jumped in my car to come here. If I jumped on the train or the studio was around the corner from my house, at the time I was coming here, I wouldn't have listened to it. If I was traveling later, Whether if I was getting on a train later or I was moving around a lot later, then I would have listened to it. But my car, I can jump in and I can like play something or whatnot. I was gonna play. There's an album by an artist called Leon Thomas who is just like he's just incredible, bro. Sick writer. He's got a project out, and I was gonna play that first, but I thought, nah. Let me just do the Nines thing as I'm in the car and I'm in a certain mode. Let me do that. But yeah, this analysis is from one listen and me making my way here. So
it's good to make that clear, just because the last thing we want to fall into is the bad habits that exist on the net that we don't believe.
Oh, listen, bro, I'm sure that there will be a phone call or something that with regardless of the positive, there will be something. But yeah,
that's not the reason why we do it, though. We do it for ourselves. We lack clarity for ourselves.
Yeah,
if we get the phone call, we get the phone call. I encourage the phone call because I've not come from no place of malice. It's all love me I deal with. So when you phone me and you hear the love, you realise, oh, it's a love we are dealing. Cool. Yeah, man, love, man. I love conversation as well. So why not? I'm lonely, but we don't. You get me? Clarity is key. Is key.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on that over the weekend, and then once you listen to it, we can go over there still.
But I do care about the UK music scene, though, Chuckie. I can't lie. I've been having multiple conversations this week about it. Multiple conversations last week, and just the state of music in theory. And I do believe COVID had a massive effect on the industries that we have the strongest influence in, and I feel like they've been misrepresented for a period of time for whatever reason, and we're beginning to come out of that misrepresentation. The question is, what does that look like? And I take a look at the artists coming up now, and I'm just trying to find the new people on Instagram or through football content, or I'm trying to find the new individuals that I believe are the best representations. And I can be honest with you and say there are some dope ones, but a lot of them have been affected by what they believe is meant to be a successful product in our industry due to COVID. And I wish I could make it even super clearer, but I don't know how to word it without it sounding like I'm trying to disrespect somebody, because that can't be the intention. That is never the intention. But there's a severe situation happening, and we can come here every week and pretend that it's whatever. But when you take a look what's happened with shits and gigs, that's a prime example of how the culture was misrepresented. And it's a prime example, if there is not clarity in front of this microphone, I know I run joke about it, but if there is not clarity, every single one of black culture's peaks is going to be P. Diddy. It's going to be shit. It's always going to be something negative. All of our peaks at this present moment in time are negative. Cardi B, Offset, it's all negative, because our ability to make products has been compromised with the four walls. Where's our Bobby Shmurda moments? Where's our Skepta going Shoreditch moments? Where's our Kanye just linking up with Skepta on a random moments? Where's our Mostak moments like when he first came out? Where's our Krept and Conan moments when they first came out? Where's our Pot of Paper moments? Where's our moments that have nothing to do with four walls, just seem to happen? And you go, where did that come from? And then we just keep watching them and we monitor them. And they almost are kind of rebellious. They're like bloody stone cold. I hate Vince McMahon type of thing. They're anti everything. And then eventually when they collaborate on their terms. And then they're doing these wonderful things. Who is the next person to do that? It's difficult for me to see, because every product that's come out, whether it be music, whatever, has been compromised by them 5, 6, 7 months, a year, whatever it was when we were in COVID. Them products have been compromised by thinking this is what you need to do to be successful. And it's not. And we're only seeing the effects of it now. People made huge amounts of money in a short space of time, which wasn't for them. And I don't mean like they didn't deserve it. I mean, if you take a look at where you should be in terms of the level of your performance matched with your wage, there was a disparity. So then people's quality threshold didn't shine through for a consistent period of time to quantify that level of money you're getting. And then if that becomes the top dog, 3-4 years later, you're looking at Arsenal, bruv. Aubameyang getting paid the most money, but the performances don't quantify the money in which he's getting. We're not saying he hasn't got the ability to do it, but we're just saying we're not seeing it right now.
Well, don't you think as well that the industry... like people benefited from this, but one of the problems was capitalism within music. So what I mean by that is a couple of things start working and then people started to over flood it with money.
Yeah.
So now, we're going to get this. We want to. This became this big competition about trying to get stuff. So you're flooding this whole thing with money. Yeah, we can have a look at the deals that people are in and all of that type of stuff. But it's like now when you look at how much people are charging for festivals and how much people, it's like it's giving a false sense of what really should be happening right now compared to based upon the product that people are delivering.
And do you know what's you're right, but what's so crazy, I can't figure out how factual I can make this, but off my theory, it makes sense. From what I see, the music and the stuff that we make doesn't cost that much, Chuckie. It doesn't cost that much to create. Grime didn't cost that much. In comparison to what music is, to what money is available within music, what we do doesn't come from the best studio and the most skilled producers and all of that. It just comes from individuals that have an understanding of culture through sonics, and they're able to express it to us. So as much as I may have thought Skepta was incredible in 2003, by music standards, he's not. So what I mean by that is you're not getting anyone that goes to like a music arts college, comes out and then you go, this guy is this level, so we have to pay him this. It's a free realm. You lot are putting the price on it. So they're putting their price on culture. And I don't understand how they're pricing culture because they're not even from it. And it's something that seems to have an implement in music every year going by. What I mean by this is it don't cost much to make it. So therefore the returns should be massive. And they're not.
No, because with what's happening is, regardless of the advances that people are getting, the percentage of the pie that they're getting is nothing. Really.
Absolutely. But I mean, if you take a look at in comparison to other genres.
Compared to who's making the actual money.
Of course, but you see other genres of music, they need more finance in order for them to get something out of it. And I'm saying people like J Hus leaked their project and it was going #1, which means the amount of money I need to put into that product is a lot less than maybe the cause in 1997. So if that's the case, they should be seeing more money. They should be seeing much more money, but they're not. And then I think the reasons why those situations are happening is because the product that was made on the street that you could do limited money on marketing and somehow make bare bread, and they didn't understand, they said scrap that. Get it in them 4 walls. And they made them 4 walls seem extremely glamorous. And now, like I said, all them moments of Skepta, Kanye, all them 2019 moments before then, I have not seen one.
That is an interesting observation still, you know.
And it hurts me, bro. Like, it's like, and when they do see
one...
Yeah,
it feels like there hasn't been a moment for a minute.
And when there is something that's kind of looking
There's a nice little moment that's happening right now with... I mean, it's different, but the Cortez and Giggs thing I really like at the moment.
I love that.
Yeah.
Cortez...
It's very different. It's very different.
No, don't do that. It's the same. You're right. That is a moment. And Cortez has a lot of them, but he has a lot of moments because he doesn't stand within the 4 walls.
Yeah, can you, just for people who don't know what we're talking about.
So Clint obviously has a brand Cortez, like he's released a hoodie with all of the lyrics to Talking the Hardest on it, and obviously Giggs has he's got Giggs is wearing it as well in the couple.
Have you seen the video that I think they put out today? Was it today?
See?
Bro, do you know what he said? I in this game, I live for insight. Do you know what Giggs said? Which I thought was so interesting, yeah? So he's on the block and he's talking about how the tune was made. He actually said that Talking the Hardest was originally supposed to be him and Fem Fell.
Fem!
I said, swear down. Yeah.
My brother Fem.
When did they put that? Did that come out today? Or was that yesterday? I just saw it today. 2 hours ago. Yeah, so I saw it when I was on my way here. I wasn't driving and watching it. I promise you I wasn't doing that.
You don't do that, Chuckie?
Because I don't do that. But anyway, he basically is on the block. He's talking about like where he got arrested or whatnot. He had a strap. They had things going on. Then he's talking about a dog that he had, where he taught the dog to walk itself. So it's cool. Yeah, it was too hot for him to walk the dog. He talks about that, but he also just lightly says, he goes, Talking the Hardest was me and Fem Fell. He goes, but then I wrote so much until the tune, there was nothing left of the beat. He just wasn't on it anymore. But he goes, I'm sure that he's still got he's got a version with him on it. Like, that's mad.
Fem, for those who don't know, Fem Fell is now a football agent. He was a rapper prior. Paul Pogba's cousin. Really good man. Got mad love for Fem Fell. Yeah, and one of the worst, but he's got the worst football takes in the world. But apart from that,
really,
terrible. He's gonna message me after.
He's a United man, isn't it?
He, unfortunately, for him. because now the club that he loved doesn't love his cousin. So it was all a waste of
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Do you know what I'm
it
saying?
stinks. Yeah, it
It
stinks.
stinks, man. And
It
I love
stinks.
Paul.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's interesting. And do you know what, Chuckie? And look what the moment we had to go and grab. Something
Yeah,
from
that's
back
the
in the
moment.
day. It's not like it's a new moment. But Clint always does things like that. It's like Clint reminds me of the
But
boy
I said this is a new moment.
in the sense of,
What do you mean?
excuse me.
Oh,
Clint
like a
is-
nostalgic thing.
It's a
I get
nostalgic
it.
thing. Do you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And Clint is that guy because Clint reminds me of a boy that said, when I get it out, I'm going to do it my way.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the king. I want to do things my way. You take a look at this collaboration. Before that, I saw one with Crazy Titch.
Yeah.
Before that, he's doing Nike, Ronaldinho collaborations.
Yeah.
He's doing Camavinga collaborations. Like, Camavinga collaboration for a brand like that is so obvious, but so not at the same time. Only if you're invested, you will see it. And Clint is heavily invested. So he creates them moments because he's a G and he understands all of that. But there are just if people cared more about Travs Presents, for example, you might capture a moment. Travs Presents, it's a fantastic platform. Make sure you check that out on Instagram. It's Travs Presents, please. You'll get a moment. And I'm just like, yeah, where's these moments? 0 Day, you might get a moment. There are a couple
Yeah,
places.
it's mad. I'm trying. Do you know what? I'm trying to think of like something. You know, when you like the examples that you're giving, I'm like looking at the year and I'm saying, wow, like.
There are some people that have done well, and again, because
Yeah.
I can say Clint, yeah, that is a moment, you know. But
He's had a few of those.
He's had a few of
this
those,
year,
but
in fact.
You've had their moment. R&B is a moment. R&B is something that is now emblooded within our culture that we know going forward. But even then, not to play it down because it is ridiculous, and I'm not playing it down. I'm just saying it's still nostalgia.
Yeah.
Do you know where I'm
100.
coming from? I'm
100.
asking for a moment from the most intelligent crop of human beings on planet Earth, which are under 25, under 26. Those are the most intelligent people on planet Earth.
Yeah.
And I believe that the senior figures should have created a pathway for them to always express themselves because they are the most intelligent. They're the most forward thinking. They have the best ideas. They can push things forward. They are tomorrow. So we have to give them space to think, breathe, and express themselves. Otherwise, bro, we're in this moment we're in right now where there's a bag of people in senior positions so out of touch with the culture. Their ideas are just boring, rubbish, played out nonsense. These new guys under 25, they got the ideas. Clint's got the ideas. Ellis got the ideas. These guys have got the ideas, bro.
I think some of them are going to start going back to what I've been screaming about from even back in the day, where it's like in regards to music, it's like controlling your own music and being able to put music out to the fans or your core directly. There's only going to be a small group of these that probably do this, and that maybe can do it. But I just think that way they will be in so much more control of what they're doing than being inside the walls, if you know what I mean.
100%.
And one of the things, I used to say this all the time, it's the way that I came across Little Sims and how I supported her was Bandcamp. I just thought that whole model was so sick because I go on Bandcamp and I'm like, Little Sims has got a project, yeah. She's put a price on that project, but I can pay more for it if I want, no?
Yeah.
If I want to, I could pay more for it. Then on top of that, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but then they have with that option, they are able to have access to the data too. So then when they drop more stuff or whatnot, they can contact me directly. You get much more of a percent. I think Bandcamp only take a very small percentage of that. And it's like now, when I'm supporting this artist, I feel so much more closer to this artist because I almost feel like I'm right next to them. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And when you compare that to like, all right, cool, streaming, there's all these conversations about streaming and that, but really what you getting? And what is it doing? It can be a part of the noise. Cool. But, you know, and then I think some will have to go back to, and there's no shame in this, by the way, in regards to doing shows and whatnot, don't get caught up in looking at what everyone else was doing and these numbers and think that you could go off and do 5,000, 10,000 or whatever else, yeah. Especially in this time, it's all right to go and take a little step back, do a little 1,000 for the core
100%.
and build upon that. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's yours. You might link up with a promoter to go and do that. You work out your percentages and whatnot. And it's like now you're just in so much more control of what you're doing. But on top of that, you've got like a nice level of strong engagement with people that really fuck with what you do. And then on top of that, you got of course the noise and the gas and that will come, and you can capitalize off of that. But in the long run, being closer to them and doing it this way probably is going to be a lot better for you. Do you know what I mean? And if it is about bread, you're probably going to make more bread in the long run.
100%. 100%. But don't disregard the four walls, you know. Money
No, of course
inside
not.
there.
Huh?
Money inside there.
No, of course. And you know
Go get your
what?
money.
And you know what? There are, and I will say this, I've
Good
said this
people.
before, there are a few really good people in there trying to fight the fight and do the right thing. And I know that because a couple of them I'm speaking to, and, you know, I can't come here and if I say some of the stuff, then it's just obvious of where it's coming from, and I don't want to. I'd much rather some of the people just come on the couch and they just talk it themselves if they can do that. But there is a real fight that is going on, that we have people in there that are trying to fight against that and do the right thing, and I always respect that. Do you know what I mean?
But
They're trying to do the right thing for the artist. They're trying to make sure that the artist is in the right financial position, that they're getting the right deals, and also that they're being looked after outside of that. There might not be a lot of them, but they're there.
Someone.
They're there.
There's someone.
They're there.
If we don't focus on them, who does, Chuckie? We keep focusing on the negative ones. And there are a few, man. So, yeah, man, you lot keep fighting the good fight. I follow some of them on Twitter. I sometimes see some sad tweets, and I'm just like, oh, man.
None of them have lost jobs, though.
Huh?
A lot of them have lost jobs, though. A lot of them have lost jobs, bro.
I hate when I hear things like that.
Diddy's actually really going to jail, isn't it?
Of course.
He's actually really gonna go jail.
Chuckie, you have to remember, when the first time I bought baby oil, it lasted me 4 months. Just the one bottle. I thought I'd throw it out there. Just to share.
You know what? Mine lasted me a minute as well, still.
So,
Mine lasted me a minute.
and from time the lawyer, your own lawyer says, and I can find the clip because I've stored these files, he doesn't understand why you have so many.
That's a lot, isn't it?
And then if you've seen the film Blink Twice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you haven't seen Blink
I
Twice?
ain't seen it, no.
Zoe Kravitz went crazy. Go and please watch Blink Twice. It's based upon the Jeffrey Epstein Island concept.
Is it? Is it on Netflix?
No, you can't flick the net. You have to go cinema for this one.
Okay.
I took a little beautiful.
Oh, is it new?
It's new.
Oh, strong.
Get outside, Chuckie.
Yeah, all right then. Cool.
I'm
'Cause
going
I don't
on
know
dates.
nothing that's in
Get outside, Chuckie.
Is it? Yeah.
Come
Say
on.
no more. I'm jumping in.
So yeah, I went to go and watch that film and I found it very very interesting. I can't say this about giving away the film, I guess. So I can't say it.
Nah, do you know what?
But
Do you
all
want
I
to
will
say
say
it and then
is-
I leave? No, just
that's
say
not
it.
fair.
Just
No,
say it.
No.
Do you know what?
You lot weird. You're weird.
I'll-
Next week.
I'll watch it. Yeah, I'll watch it.
Yeah. All I will say is this. There was 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Think of why. Don't think of the 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
Oh, yeah.
I know that sounds like an obvious statement,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not, because we keep laughing at the 1,000 bottles of baby oil, talking
Yeah.
about how Johnson's are going out of business now because Diddy's not their
Was
main
it
funder.
Johnson's, though?
I don't know. We're just trying to run jokes here. Talking about his Costco card got taken away. There's loads of things that people are saying. But once you watch Blink Twice, I'm telling you, if the concept from Blink Twice is similar to the 1,000 bottles of baby oil, lock them all up. Now.
Yeah.
Now. Like, Diddy, I loved you.
Yeah.
I found out info. I don't wish death upon no man. I don't wish prison upon no man.
No.
But every single man maps out his journey. Big man, if that's where you have to be, that's where you have to be.
100%, bro.
And he's going to say names. I hope you don't know.
Oh, bro, let me tell you. Right now, well, I was following, I'm a case follower.
Oh, I'm following this one.
I was following the young Dolph case, which was quite short, actually.
That's sad, man.
Super sad. But you know what? Oh my God, you see this trial here, yeah? Because they're saying, I just read today, while I was on my way here. I didn't read it while I was driving.
Because you don't do that.
Because I don't do that. Apparently he's gonna testify in court.
Yes.
So that means that with him testifying in court, he's gonna be cross-examined. Which means when you're cross-examined, you're gonna have both sides asking you questions about things. So he's gonna have to tell.
Who was there?
Yeah. He's
Now-
gonna have to talk about stuff.
Can I ask you a question?
Unless they strike some type of deal where he don't say certain things and they can't use it against him. I don't know. But I'll tell you something. There's gonna be a lot of people shitting it to bits.
100%.
If he's gonna go to jail and he's in this mode of, all right, cool, you know, because remember how this thing works. I'm not saying that this is gonna happen, but let's just say, for example, they say to him, look, right now, if you don't testify, whatever it is that they've got him for, which is still a little bit shaky, is you're gonna get 25 years or whatever. However, if you just testify and you talk about what's going on and whatnot, then you might get 10 years. You see how quickly a man is ready to start speaking, because there's a big difference between doing 10 years, which might technically end up being 8 years in prison, to doing 25, which might end up being 22. It's a long time. I'm not sure.
Not state.
It's not state. Then there's no.
It's federal's bigger.
There's
than
no
state,
early
right?
release.
Yeah.
If there's...
This is federal. This is federal. This is a bigger one than the Young Thug one.
Okay.
Like this RICO charge is big, man. We came to Miami. We came to LA. We didn't just operate in Atlanta, and we're keeping you locked up in New York. This is big. This
It's
is
still
what
shaky on what they've like, because
they've got him in for.
Why they got him is because they don't want him to be talking to witnesses and all these type of.
But this is what's scary for me. This is what's scary for me. Why Diddy has to be afraid. If I take you in for one situation, Chuckie, this is me asking out of ignorance. And on the journey, in talking about this story, we find out other info and we go, wait, you did that? Can I convict you for that as well?
No, not necessarily.
Not convict you, sorry. Can I charge you for that as well? If we find out throughout the story, you say, all right, I'm not saying that he said this, but I'm saying he said, in order to get that, I had to shoot my man in his head. And they go, oh, that's how my man died. Can they charge you for that as well?
So yeah, they can, and sometimes no.
All right, so
So-
here's where I'm
so
getting with it.
Yeah.
What I'm scared for everyone is, if I tell you a story and say, no, this is what happened, and then we find out later that that was whatever it was, all the characters that are confirmed to be within that room when that potential crime happened, are they all going down?
Well, yeah, so they could later on end up being, they could end up being cases afterwards. If he starts talking about
Bro.
stuff. But here's the thing, yeah, because sometimes what happens is in court as well, you can make a deal where if you tell a certain element of truth, they can't use some of that truth against you later on. So what do they call it?
No,
it's
but
called something. Immunity. So
But
you
then-
get immunity.
but
you
then
get
say-
immunity. Huh?
So then say Puffy says, well, I was there with, not to say Ludacris. Which is ludicrous to say.
Yeah.
Because I trust my brother. But I thought I'd throw
bits.
someone in there that I know,
Yeah.
trustworthy. He cut his hair,
Clean.
done a song with Mary J. Blige, Run
clean.
Away Love, and he even ran away. So I'm saying that brother there, because I trust him. If the story is told and it's confirmed that he is there in time for that crime and he participated, does that mean they pick him up as well?
They have to build a case.
They have to build a case against
Oh,
them.
do you know what?
So
I reckon all our forefathers are messed up, bro. I reckon it's mash up.
What,
I reckon our things mash up.
what do you mean? Like all of them lot that was up?
I reckon it's mash up. Go and watch that Vince McMahon documentary tonight.
No, of course, bro,
it's
of
not
course.
even important for the case. It's important to see where America's mindset was at one point.
Yeah, that's true.
And America across the board, their mindset was sex, 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 sex. Like even on friendly shows, they were showing it. Like on My Wife and Kids, very sexualized, but for a household environment.
Right.
Wrestling, very sexualized before. So it just meant the sexualization of everything at a period of time was so acceptable that if Puff Daddy throws a party at that time,
And there's bare fuckery going on.
Oh
People are
my
just, all kinds of people are indulging in that. And then what happens? Society changes.
and then people tried to go, because you know who was apparently,
When society changes, someone says, you know what? I didn't like that.
and now we got a problem because guess who is kept right away from this situation? Everyone keeps talking about Jay-Z. Can we just leave our black people alone for a minute? Because they're going through some things. Not to say that they shouldn't get, if they did do it. Where's Ashton Kutcher?
Yeah, I heard. I've been hearing.
Because I used to watch everything MTV related back in the day.
Yeah, they bring
I
up Ashton.
remember, I'm not even seeing if they've said anything online. I remember Ashton Kutcher talking about P. Diddy parties.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, there's a thing. They're asking that question right now. They're asking that question
There's
right
a
now.
couple of other people, Chuckie.
Yeah, there are some people that really will be. There's a lot of conversations being had right now. There's a lot of conversations where people are sweating right now because they know what they did. But also, do you know what? There's a couple of people that like are probably feeling somewhat relieved because the talk is that at some of these parties or whatever it may be, footage has been taken and you wasn't aware that there was this footage that had been taken. So now, let's just speculate here. If Diddy's throwing a party, because this is kind of what they're saying is happening as well, yeah? Diddy's throwing a party or whatnot, and now he's got footage of you doing something questionable or mad or whatnot now. I can see how this thing plays out. He rings you the next day or the day after. Did you enjoy the party? Yeah, I had a good time. Did you enjoy the blue in that room? And you're thinking, what? Hold on, I thought I just creeped up. But how do you know that there was blue in the room? And now it's like, yeah, but I saw, just letting you know that, I saw you in the room. Just wanted to make sure everything was okay. Now you're sweating because you know what you did in that room. So now, you see when Diddy rings you the next week and says, do you know what? I need a favor. I just need you. Could you drive or could you get so-and-so? Well, you ain't saying no. You are now handcuffed to this Don forever because you know he has
what
the
you did
right there
in that room.
Exactly.
I hear you, Chuckie.
So now some people are probably being relieved because they might know that, okay, this thing is safe now and that they can move on from it. But also you're still sweating because if he goes and he testifies and he talks about certain stuff, some of this is coming out.
Do you know what's going to happen as well?
The Justin Bieber thing is quite interesting
The
too.
Justin Bieber thing is well interesting because that interview he does with Zane Lowe where he breaks down and says the things that happened to me when I was younger, I just don't want to happen to my gal. I can't lie. You have to be a heartless mother to see that and not feel something. I see that and I go, Justin, what happened to you, bro? And then you hear Usher had to take the parental rights of him as a kid. And then you've got Diddy asking why he's not at the party. And then you've got the Kardashian family on the Kardashians, keeping up with the Kardashians, saying, I was just at a party and everyone was walking around half naked. And guess who was there at 15, 16 years old?
Mental.
But that, again, it speaks, when you watch the wrestling documentary, it reminded me the sexualization of everything in America at one point. I used to watch My Wife and Kids and my mom said to me, this is not appropriate for you, Kyle. And I'm thinking, but this is on Trouble or for my cousins or my younger cousin. Maybe for me it was cool, but I remember she just didn't understand why the couple was every minute alluding to wanting to have sex whilst the children were there. Because my mum and dad weren't on that. And all my fam, not on that. Christians, they're not on that. So I just felt like, yeah, America had such an influence on making sex just so normal. Like in wrestling, I forgot. Triple H and Shawn Michaels gyrating on the stage and all of that, telling girls to flash their titties and all of that.
Does it show in that doc? Does it show when they had the gal in the coffin, and then
shows everyone else in the coffin? I'll tell you that. Shows everyone else in the coffin. Undertaker, Kane.
No. It was a skit. Was it? Bo here?
Yeah, he was here. Triple H.
But yeah, honestly, America, bruv. I'm scared, Chuckie, because I'm scared there's going to be people that we don't know. And do you know what's going to be mad as well, Chuckie?
Go on.
The things that don't affect you legally but affect your credibility.
Oh, yeah. That's, 100%.
When you find out who was kissing Diddy,
yeah,
your gangster rapper was kissing Diddy in the cupboard, all of a sudden there'll be a group of people that will go, you sold us a lie.
Yeah. Because you're not going to go to jail for that. You didn't do nothing wrong. But he's just telling a part of the story and you was in that. And that's what you was on.
And you try to say that you're not on this. You lied to your audience member now.
Hey, because no one is talking about this yet, other than essentially the only people that have been around Diddy that is talking about this really are podcasters. Really, no one else is really saying anything. Like Charlemagne's talking.
Charlemagne's chatting. Cat Williams
Joe
is
Budden,
chatting. Joe Budden's chatting.
Yeah, exactly. These lot are talking, yeah.
What?
But you see the other lot, like the other people that was in there and that. No one's saying
No,
anything.
rappers are talking.
Who?
Dame's talking. Now there are some old school rappers are talking like.
Okay.
Some old rapper like Jadakiss. Like some rappers are
Is
coming.
Jada talking?
But some rappers have come out and said you don't need to ask whether I was there. You know I weren't there. Do you know what I'm saying?
But I know Jada would be talking on that because remember them man they had beef with him.
Come on, man. They might not rate him. They went to go and punch.
Huh?
Mace, Cameron, they're chatting. Yeah. People are chatting.
Yeah, I hear it.
I tell you who's not chatting. The new school lot. The new school lot guys.
Yeah.
I haven't heard Rick Ross chatting. I haven't heard DJ Khaled chatting.
Yeah, but DJ Khaled.
It doesn't matter.
Palestine's happening and you can't get a sniff out of him. You can't get a sniff out of him. But a whole load of... How many people dead? How many people dead over that side? You can't get a wink out of that, Don.
And
So you're gonna get something out of Diddy.
You're right. Every minute you just see him distance himself from things and go, "We the best." I'm like, wasn't he part of the best a minute ago?
Yeah, good. You know what? Just stay in the.
Yeah, do you know what? Do your job.
Yeah, just go and do that. Go and play golf. It's all right. Yeah,
but I just think there's some people. I'm just not hearing them chat. And you know what? I was hearing some people chat defending the situation at one point, which I didn't understand. Didn't understand at one point why you're trying to defend Diddy. I understand the things he's done musically, but I don't ever think his music was up for like questioning. No one was questioning his musical catalogue. You can't question it. No. But you see, after he finishes work, we can question that. I think we can question that if it's if for the world to see. And what's wrong with that? And especially if he's doing it consistently. And these parties, bruv,
it's not the creativity, It's about what happens when people have power and influence. What do you do when you have power and influence? You will have some people that like they do stuff. It's like hidden in plain sight. So they'll have this power and influence, and it looks like they're doing good, but really they're just keeping up with a whole bunch of fuckery. What's so telling is that Shine mentioned it even just the other day. He alluded to it in what he said. He said Diddy essentially ruined his life at one point. Yeah, and he shot the woman in the face, innit?
He did.
But he's saying, I've got to a point in my life where I'm not even going to harbour it anymore. I'm just going to park it and I'm going to move forward. And on top of that, Diddy was giving money for schools. He was giving money for this. He was doing all this philanthropy type stuff and whatnot. So it from the offset, when you just look at it, you're looking at, Diddy's like, you know what I mean? He's giving bread. He's doing stuff. He's doing stuff for the community. You know what I mean? He's made people money. He's done all of that. But what was he doing with his power and influence? What was going on then? When they would sniff the little something, or he had people at the house, what was he doing then? And then you got to work out like, I guess that's a conversation about, doing more good than bad and whatnot. But it's like, all that good you did, that's all cool. But all that bad you did is going to leave a lasting effect as much as it has the good stuff that you've done. And that's mental. You can't now be in this place of like, it's so mad, because this has been this has been a thing for so many years, but because he's done so good, you just parked a lot of it. Or some of it you would look at as like the hustler mentality, that hustler spirit, the man who wanted to really be successful and he was going to get there at any means necessary. Because this Don was hardly sleeping at one point. That was his thing, innit? He weren't sleeping. He was there. He was getting it.
What a lie.
But there's footage of him in his office flinging stuff around. I'm a beast. I'm a beast. But you see, when you give some people power and influence, they can do all of that type of shit. But see, when the door don't even have to be closed.
Put it this way.
The door don't have to be closed.
Vince McMahon is the white P. Diddy.
Shit. Oh shit.
The only thing is, Diddy was everywhere.
Wasn't Vince though, in a different way? Vince was so out there. I didn't know.
Vince was
all this time,
really everywhere.
I didn't know. I knew that obviously he was playing a role of the president and that. I didn't actually know that he was.
Oh, you watch when you watch it.
Big man, do you know how much? Hey, that really spun me, When I watched the other doc, I was like, hold on a minute. Oh, he actually was really, really running things. I didn't know that. I just thought he was a prominent guy within it and just one of the characters. This Don was running it and a character.
Guess who else done that?
Who?
He's gone now. It's okay.
Who? Big man, I have to bounce. I wanted to cover this Naomi Campbell thing.
What? What happened with her?
You did hear? Apparently, so this charity money that she was getting or whatnot, she was spending the money on like lavish hotels and this, that, and the fourth and whatnot. And then I wanted to have a conversation about charities and money and whatnot, but we'll bring that up another time.
And we need to have a conversation that people are uncomfortable to have. I understand you have a checklist in your life of things that you think are approved. And if someone meets them, you go, they're a great person. But at some point, we got to ask Oprah, Naomi Campbell, and a couple other people in our community, what's going on? I don't like when I don't like when there's a bad guy and you're always tied to them.
Yeah.
Why are you always tied to the negative people? I got people like that around me now. People that have done me wrong. But there's certain people that are always tied to the people that have done me wrong. You start go,
Oh, yeah. What
are
doing?
you wrong?
Yeah.
Oprah?
Yeah. Or, though,
Naomi?
or I do have a take on that.
Go on.
Or do you keep them close so you can see what they're doing so that they don't do wrong to you?
Oh, and you don't let me know because I think that's wrong. Find out next week on
Yeah, that's
Hcpod.
true.
We'll be there.
I hear it loud. All right, go on quickly. Oh yeah, they hit 100k subscribers. Big up 90s Baby podcast each and every time. Sensational. The
Timmy.
work they've been putting in is actually very inspiring.
Can't deny.
Man.
Can't
They have
deny.
been absolutely on fire. 90s Baby have been absolutely on fire. Like, you know what? They have a really strong brotherhood, which translates a lot. But I feel like the conversations that they're having with the guests that they're having is very sick, man. Big them up each and every time. Big them up, man.
What was I going to say about me? Everyone, we might not have got this
What
far,
was
but
I
if
gonna
you
say
have,
about me?
next week Tuesday, Lacoste have invited me to Paris Fashion Week. Make sure you're there.
Serious?
Don't say like you don't see that coming. Put on my glasses, you'll see it coming. So I'll be there. I'll give you some pictures and them thing there, and I'll be here next week Friday looking very.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough about me.
Yeah. Lacoste.
Come on.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. Yeah, love. What, Nandino's next week though?
Oh, let's